Here's the script. Catch up on your own time. We have to act fast.
Ladies and gentlemen and other fine folks, I've come to make an announcement. She loony on my tunes till the earth blew up. Hi, welcome to Bomb Squad Matinee. I'm your host.
What on earth, Tanner?
I'm in the club, straight jorking it, and by it, let's just say, my Daffy Duck.
Fuck. He's not going to be able to control himself.
Guy that calls his dick Daffy Duck. Okay, I'm Tanner Richard Kraft. With me I have...
Hi, I'm Sex Savory. Oh, fuck.
Oh, hello, I'm here. This is a fucking disaster already.
What's your name, though?
Hello, I'm Cody.
I'm Joe, and I'm drinking a root beer.
I'm Tim.
Is what I sound like when I come. No, if you couldn't tell, today we're talking...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know what happened. We're talking about the fucking Looney Tunes movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up. Before we talk about the movie, this is our second time talking about Looney Tunes on this channel. The first time since the Space Jam episode 17 years ago. So let's just get right into it. Cody, what's your history with the Looney Tunes?
History with the Looney Tunes. All right, I got a decent history with the Looney Tunes. I grew up with them. Watched a lot of Boomerang growing up, at my grandma's, at my dad's place, all the old classics were on. So I'm very familiar with the Looney Tunes. I couldn't say I had like a favorite or anything. I couldn't say like I was like super attached, but they were on and I enjoyed them. So they were always around. Also, I was subjected to Space Jam a good few times. More times than I'd like to admit. Yeah, that's the only way you could describe it. You don't watch Space Jam, you were subjected to it.
It happens around
I
you.
love Space Jam. Fuck you. Guys, we're all doing Space Jam for my birthday again. You have no choice.
Alright, you're the boss.
I'm not the boss.
Tanner is the new boss of the Alamo Draft House. He's getting Space
That's
Jam.
true.
That is
Number
locked.
one, my first order of business, we will be doing nothing but showing Jason X.
Alright, someone else go next. I said what I needed to say.
Okay, good. Joe, you're next.
All right, my history with the Looney Tunes. I've mentioned it before. I'll mention it again. I grew up with the Looney Tunes. I've loved the Looney Tunes ever since I was a kid. Yikes. I was far more a Looney Tunes kid than a Disney kid. As I said on one of these episodes before, eat shit, Mickey Mouse. Fuck you, you fucking bastard. Yeah, I didn't necessarily care for Disney all that much growing up because I had the Looney Tunes and I loved all those characters. Had the VHS of Space Jam. That movie was basically just a part of my life. Like, I don't remember a first time seeing Space Jam. It just existed. Just kind of the same thing with the Looney Tunes in general. They just kind of existed. I loved all the cartoons. I loved the Back in Action movie that Joe Dante directed. Fantastic movie. Even if Tanner hates it.
I don't hate it.
Well, yeah, you were on record of saying that you hated it, Tanner. Especially because they canceled the sequel to Space Jam, Race Jam, with Jeff Gordon.
No. It was the Skate Jam. It was Skate Jam. Race
could
Jam
have
never
it
got
all.
past the conceptual
No,
stage.
I think you wanted the Race Jam movie.
No, that's called Crash. It came out in 2005. It won Best Picture. They made
It came out in
sequel.
1996.
It was called Green Book.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, I've always loved the Looney Tunes. I wish I had more to say. I wish that they were around more. They're not around that much anymore. Fucking Mickey Mouse is on everything and shit, but I don't give a fuck about that asshole. He's uninteresting. Fuck him. I prefer Bugs Bunny. He's far more interesting. Fuck that shit. Bring back the Looney Tunes. And I'm happy that they're coming back with this movie and potentially Coyote versus Acme. Fingers crossed. Back to you, Tanner. Love the Looney Tunes. That's my history.
She Coyote on my Acme till that tax write-off.
I hope that ages poorly.
God willing. God willing. Oh, she Coyote on my Acme till I catch up entertainment. Austin, you go next.
Oh my god! Holy shit!
That's the name of the company.
I know, but still, holy
It's that fancy sauce.
I cum blood.
Ooh,
I love Cannibal Corpse.
You should see a doctor
This is-
about that.
this is now the Antichrist podcast, Lars von Trier's 2009 masterpiece. Me and the Looney Tunes. The Looney Tunes and I were like math majors in college. We don't really have history. My main exposure to Looney Tunes was like the original Space Jam and even more valuable core memory. The advertisement for the 1999 Chevy Venture Warner Brothers edition that played before the Iron Giant VHS tape. That car had flip and fold seats, a built-in entertainment system, this little fold-out television that had a built-in VHS player in the dash. Apparently that car is obscenely rare now. If you own one, fucking DM me. But this isn't a filibuster. I'm not here to take up space yet. I'll leave the floor open for some real tune heads. The last couple people we have left. Back to you, Tanner. Let's see what you got.
Tim.
So I was a big fan of the show Lunatics Unleashed. No, I'm kidding. Just had to bring that deep cut
I used
up.
to have the Burger King toy, and it was one of my favorite toys as a kid. I'm gonna buy it on eBay right fucking now.
Let's
Of
go
course it
another
is.
eBay buy on the podcast.
we go.
We gotta keep the tradition going. Anyway, this is my answer here is not unlike Tanner's answer to my Godzilla opening question. I feel like there's never been a moment in my life that I can recall where I didn't know who the Looney Tunes were. And like I didn't really watch the shorts as a kid. I didn't watch them until I was an adult. But like I always knew who the Looney Tunes were, and part of that is because we're all from St. Louis, so our we have Disneyland at home was a little place called Six Flags, that's a little theme park that's got all the Looney Tunes characters and all the DC characters. You know, the trademarks of Warner Brothers that no other studio could ever be seen distributing unless some absolute dipshit took over the company and just completely fucked up their brand. Who would expect that to happen, you know? But yeah, Looney Tunes, experienced them through Six Flags, which was the place that I went with my dad on my first roller coaster. And you want to take a guess what roller coaster that was? Just for fun?
The Batman.
Nope.
Mr. Freeze. It's gotta be Mr. Freeze.
Nope.
Fuck.
I don't know any. Ninja? That's the only one I know.
That's right! The fucking ninja!
Cody got it!
And I didn't go on another roller coaster till I was 19. It was traumatic.
Holy shit.
But other than that, though, another big part of what was my history with Looney Tunes was the fact that I didn't grow up with cable, as I've mentioned a few times on the channel, so I was a WB kid. So I was always seeing the ads with one Michigan J. Frog, and on Kids WB they'd always play interstitial ads with all the Looney Tunes characters, and I got to know them and saw a little bit of Tiny Toons, and I did see a little bit of that Lunatics Unleashed show. It was something. And of course Space Jam and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Classics. And I was looking forward to this one when I heard that it was coming. What did I think? More on that later. Back to you, Turk. Yeah!
He's so badass.
Costs $20. I'm not buying it.
Fair enough.
I'm not spending $20 on a 3.5-inch Hardee's toy. I didn't even know Hardee's had toys.
But it'd be
Apparently, I
funny.
own one. You're right. I'm buying it right now. I'm also getting I'm getting the 2-year protection plan from Allstate to add peace of mind from breakdowns and malfunctions.
Are you in good hands?
My Hardee's toy broken. Allstate won't pay out the insurance money.
What the
You're not in
fuck?
good hands.
What's the
Oh,
point?
Well, why I kill myself? I'm a really big fan of the baby Looney Tune. That's my
Let's
history. with the
go!
Looney Tunes.
That's Elmer
Love the
fucking
baby-
Fudd, you moron!
Real big fan of that baby Looney Tune. No, I'm the same as Tim. Like I was saying with the Godzilla thing, the Looney Tunes just kind of always existed. And I do have a funny Looney Tunes related story. When I was a kid, my parents' car got hail damage, and the insurance company sent them a check instead of sending a check to the company that was going to do the repair. So what my parents did was go, fuck this hail damage, didn't get the hail damage repaired, and instead they spent all that money on a week of fun stuff. My mom said, fuck you guys, and went to Cape Cod. My dad and I, we did a bunch of cool shit, including going to Six Flags. And I'll remember Six Flags, we went on all these rides, we did all the games, and then my dad was like, we're going to go to a show. So we were running late to the show, so we had to haul ass across the park. And then we went into the park, and it was a bunch of guys in Looney Tunes costumes, like adult-sized Looney Tunes costumes, and guys, I've never been more scared in my fucking life. I thought I was gonna die in that goddamn theater. I made eye contact with a Tweety bird that was 6 feet tall, and I think I saw Satan. It was terrifying. I literally told my dad, I don't want to watch this. Can we go back on a roller coaster?
The plot of Five Nights at Freddy's happened to Tanner.
Yeah, so then we went to the show next door where there was a giant wizard talking to a little boy. And I just remember thinking, this is uncomfortable. I don't like this either. So we didn't watch a show that day. Yeah.
That's the end.
Looney Tunes did the day the dick blew up, the day the earth blew up.
Hello there, Miss Inspector Lady. I'm sure you'll find that our humble abode meets your specifications. Feel free to inspect as you please.
Yes. I suppose everything seems satisfactory. With the exception of your roof!
Our roof? There's a giant hole in our roof!
What do we think of it, boys? Austin, you go.
Okay. I'll admit, even though I've never been a proper Looney Tunes fan, when I was growing up, my most regular exposure to Looney Tunes was late night commercials for Boomerang. Cody was saying some of this shit before we started recording. With the big exceptions, Space Jam, Roger Rabbit, Tim said this. For me, Looney Tunes, it's one of those shows that comes on at grandma's house if you can't sleep. But even though childhood me would always choose stuff like I'd choose Courage the Cowardly Dog or Ed, Edd and Eddy over a Looney Tunes rerun, unless it was What's Opera Doc. What's Opera Doc is a fucking masterpiece. But I have warm feelings about the Looney Tunes. One big positive going into this movie specifically was that it's 2D animation. Like some cartoon franchises, SpongeBob, the Peanuts, the Smurfs, they jumped on that 3D bandwagon for their theatrical stuff. And with the majority of animated features being 3D anyhow, it's kind of a treat getting something 2D that gets the big screen treatment these days. In fact, this is apparently the first ever fully animated Looney Tunes adventure created for a cinema audience, according to a blurb on GFM Animation's website. But beyond the animation technique, and there is a lot of technique on display here, the tone of this movie really feels fit for, the big screen. In a nod to, science fiction movies from the 50s, like The Blob and Invasion of the Body Snatchers, kind of Tim Burton shit. This movie contains a lot of cool shit, like gum monsters and fucking flamethrowers and zombies. It's reminiscent of the blend of, slapstick comedy and old school horror references that made shit like Courage the Cowardly Dog and The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy work, stand out in that legendary peak 2000 aughts Cartoon Network lineup. Ooh. And for me, that's always been kind of what my mind thinks of when I think of theatrical adaptations of popular cartoons. an edge of like danger, a dash of added intensity that kind of sets it apart from that shit you always get to watch on TV at home. The volume of gags in this movie is pretty good. The Day the Earth Blew Up is the de facto feature film debut of Peter Braungart, known for creating the well-despised Uncle Grandpa. And having smaller technical roles on shit we do recognize. Like he worked on Futurama, he worked on Venture Brothers, Flapjack, Chowder. Now, I completely missed this, but he's also responsible for a Looney Tunes revival that's been on HBO Max for 6 seasons. And judging off this film alone, I think his interpretation of the characters really works. Because I'm sure certain moviegoers might have been cautious going into this, because this is a Looney Tunes movie without Bugs fucking Bunny, but it really does work well. Daffy and Porky, they're given a working class backstory. The very relatable American pastime of fighting with all your might to maintain basic shelter. Porky has this adorable Lola Bunny style love interest where she's essentially a clone of him, but with a STEM background and long hair. Porky has to overcome his anxiety to find love. Meanwhile, Daffy's arc is that he's completely insane and he ruins everything. And lucky for Daffy...
God damn, he just like me for real.
A series of highly improbable circumstances finally fucking line up, and his lunacy gets to have a constructive outcome for, like, once. In the end, everybody wins. Even the extraterrestrial antagonist, who it, like, turns out he was just using us for our tapioca. Plus, this is really flippant Deus Ex insurance policy to fucking seal the deal. Like, there are moments where the bits fall flat, kind of like the notorious PIG scene in Space Jam 2. This movie features BBL Daffy, posting lewds on Maine. But the 2 to 3 jokes that don't work are, like, very quickly replaced by jokes that do work, like, 5 seconds later. For the most part, this movie has that charming, quick-paced sense of humor that cartoonists are famous for. So in short, I'm a big fan of this thing. It only had a budget of $15 million. It would not take the stars aligning for this thing to be a hit. But it doesn't seem like Ketchup Entertainment has, like, pockets deep enough to market this. In the 2020s, we don't have a lot of 2D animation so far. We have the Bob's Burgers movie that barely broke even, and then we have The Boy and the Heron that made like $130 million profit. And even though this is not Hayao Miyazaki's magnum opus, it is a traditionally animated straight-up comedy, which is fairly novel in this day and age. If you grew up enjoying stuff like Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, Recess, School's Out, this movie certainly has the overall vibe of something that was made before 9/11 happened. I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. It's not going to change the game, but it's exciting to see a new Looney Tunes movie that doesn't, like, reek of corporate jockstrap. Back to you, Tanner.
Good stuff, good stuff. BBL Daff... Never mind. Ketchup Entertainment doesn't have the money to market this, because I can only assume they spent it all co-producing Ferrari. This is a true story. They were co-producers on the Michael Mann film Ferrari.
Interesting.
Hellboy, the Crooked Man, Goodrich with Michael Keaton. Any Goodrich fans in here?
They were just distributors of those ones. This is all distribution. Well, Goodrich they were a production company on, but everything else was just distributing, except Ferrari was a proper production. Anyway, Tim, what did you think of Looney Tunes The Day the Earth Blew Up? Days of Future Past.
Truly. So you know how we have our little playlists of like Bomb Squad talks subjects, like Bomb Squad talks Marvel, Bomb Squad talks anime, Bomb Squad talks...
No,
anime.
we have that?
We do have that. And I'm going to create a new one for this episode called Bomb Squad talks shit about David Zaslav. It's just going to be this episode in Uzumaki. But yeah, fuck you, David Zaslav, you absolute piece of shit. If you had held on to this and Coyote v Acme, it could have marketed them properly. They could have been big hits, but no, you had to fuck it up for all of us. This movie is a very fun time. If you have any familiarity with the Looney Tunes characters, it's just an enjoyable adventure with Porky and Daffy. Like, I do almost kind of wish like we got a little bit more with the rest of the gang, but I'm also okay with it just being their adventure. I think that helped it feel a little more focused, just like as a feature, just focusing it around them and Petunia Pig. Petunia was a fun character. Definitely a more graceful love interest character than Lola in many regards. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, a lot of good humor. This is a movie that is unabashedly a cartoon, which is something that's, you know, it feels like it's getting rarer and rarer with like animated films. Like they're afraid to be animated. Like you have fucking photorealistic Lion King bullshit and they're calling it live action, but no, that's an animated movie. It's just bad. But this is a very purely a cartoony movie, and it feels like a movie I would have loved as a kid. Like it feels like a very, you know, classic kind of Looney Tunes adventure, even though it's I imagine pretty much all digital animation. It still has that sort of it feels in line with those classic Looney Tunes cartoons. It's just very, very, very good and entertaining. I'm rambling at this point, but yeah, it's a fun time. And like Austin was saying, you got fun creatures and flamethrowers and good needle drops. The end of the world as we know it. That was just such a good little scene.
I started levitating. I heard those opening notes. I started fucking levitating.
Yeah, that was a good needle drop. Lot of fun stuff. We haven't really talked about it yet, but Farmer Jim, character of the year. Love Farmer Jim. I love the fucking simplistic animation where it's just like the fully drawn out frame, and then they just kind of South Park him over. That was the bit where they have like Porky's having the flashbacks and they're playing like the nostalgic music. Like me and Cody were like, we were probably the only people laughing in the theater, but we were fucking dying. That shit was funny to us. Another good bit, and like there were like a couple of families with kids in the theater, and the bit where Daffy gets arrested and the bars just close in front of him. I just hear one kid a few rows in front of us go, "Jail." And that fucking got my ass. That was so fucking...
I'm not even mad. I'm kind of impressed by that.
That was so fucking funny.
So you're allowed to talk out loud in the theater if what you said is funny.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that was... And, like, you know, it's a kid's movie, so I'm just happy kids are coming and enjoying it. And for the love of God, if you still are able to see this when this episode drops, go see it. That's my take. Back to you, Tanner.
Yes. Joe, you will be going next after Cody. What did you think of Looney Tunes The Day the Earth Blew Up?
He can't keep getting away with it.
He can. That's the crazy part. Man, I got a lot of thoughts actually. I definitely have a lot more to say about this movie. It's an absolute delight. You know, I didn't realize. First off, it is weird that this is like the first like full Looney Tunes movie. It's really jarring that I read that. I'm like, yeah, I guess it is.
Well, you read that and you think, the fuck it isn't.
Yeah,
and then you go and check and you go, oh my God, it is.
Yeah, you literally do.
Sure enough.
It absolutely feels like if they just took like a classic episode and just expanded into a theatrical run. I absolutely love the 50s B movie plot. Even if it's cheesy, even if it's by the numbers, even if it's pretty straightforward, it's funny. And that's the big thing. This movie's hilarious. Like, I went with my buddies, you know, Mr. Pepsi Man, Mr. Michael House, you know, went with the boys. We were howling like the entire time. Like, there were so many bits that were just absolutely hilarious. Like, I had a good blast with this movie. I was a little worried about the limited amount of tunes. It is weird that it's just kind of Daffy Duck and Porky Pig. I like that it's more focused, you know, that lets it get a more of a character arc. I kind of wish some other tunes showed up, even if it was just like brief cameos. It's still weird that it's just like a world full of humans and then it's just duck, pig, other pig. I'm like, Sure, why not? That's just the Looney Tunes way, to be honest. But no, everything about it's funny. I like the fact that
you either get 2 Looney Tunes or you get all the Looney Tunes and the ladies from the Devils. Those are your only options.
And LeBron James.
Fair enough. I do like that they actually like played with the plot a little bit. It's like generic alien plot, and it's like, oh no, actually the alien's kind of the good guy, and it's not like it comes out of nowhere. The meteor is set up like at the beginning of the movie, so it's like if you forgot about it, that's your fault. No, the animation's beautiful. You know, for how rare 2D animation is, it's really nice. Even if it's digital, I still think it looks really nice. Every scene like just feels like it was made out of pure love. I love the factory scene. You know, any movie in modern day that does a modern times reference, you know, seal approval for me. I love that kind of shit. Gosh, there's just so much you could say, because like every scene is just so like either like really beautiful to watch or it's just really funny. Like, yeah, some of the jokes, I think most of the bad jokes are like really early on, but like every joke like past the second act is like really funny. And yeah, I hope more people, even if it's not in theaters by the time this is out, there'll be a Blu-ray. Go get the Blu-ray. Go support this movie. Stick it to Warner Bros. This movie deserves your love, and it deserves to be talked about way more than a lot of other Warner Bros. Movies that are coming out like this year. So yeah, I mean, I think it's overall fairly good movie. You know, worth your time, and I think it nails the little 50s B plot as well. I hope it does get the -1 color treatment. Needs that black and white aesthetic. I think it would fit it perfectly. Yeah, back to you, Tanner.
I need the noir cut.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Shitty audio and everything.
I need the chrome cut. Joe, what did you think of The Day the Earth Blew Up?
All right, my time to shine. So,
Thank you, Joe. No, I'm kidding.
Fuck yourself, you motherfucker.
Oregon!
Twin Peaks, great movie, but we're not talking about that.
A lot of killing.
Lot of killing.
Yeah.
Not that much killing.
Not that much killing.
It's pretty rough.
Big killing. One very big killing.
Yeah. Anyways, back on topic. So, my quick couple of gripes out of the way. Someone mentioned the influencer joke earlier. Yeah, not that funny. I mean, it was kind of shocking to see it, but when in hindsight, yeah, no, not that funny. You could have cut that. Honestly, I think the villain character, who is played very well by, I just found out that's Peter McNichol who voices the villain character, the alien. I think he's played a little too villainous before the twist happens for that twist to like fully work for me. But Cody, you did bring up a good point that the meteor was set up in the beginning. I will give you that. I think the performance probably could have been played a bit different to make that twist work a little bit better for me personally. I also think this movie could have been 80 minutes. You probably could have cut some stuff from this. With that in mind, though, it is a pretty, like, as far as like Looney Tunes feature-length movie goes, it's pretty flawless. Very, very on brand for the characters. I'm honestly happy that it was just solely focused more so on Daffy and Porky. Part of it is because a lot of the best Looney Tunes shorts are focused on those two characters. If you want a good example, the Robin Hood short that they did. Yoinks and away! Bang! Great short. So yeah, focusing on just those two was a good idea. And I mean, it's just those two in those shorts as well. So it's not like not having a ton of the tunes in the movie like is a make or break thing. But I mean, a cameo wouldn't have hurt either. But honestly, I'm just happy that it was pretty scaled back and felt very on brand for those characters. For the most part, while I still think you could cut some of the runtime, it is a pretty tightly paced movie. Like, it just kind of hits the ground running. The animation is fucking gorgeous. I love the animation in this. in particular with the best character in the movie and of the year, Farmer Jed. We love you, Farmer Jed. Everything involving that character had me in stitches, and it's easily like the funniest thing I've seen all year in a movie, and I've not seen a ton of movies this year. Yeah, Farmer Jed was amazing. It's one guy doing the voice of both Porky and Daffy. We got to commend. I had the actor's
Eric
name.
Bauza.
Eric Bauza. Thank you.
Thank
you, Tanner.
I believe he is also the current Bugs Bunny.
Okay, so yeah, we really got to give that guy like a ton of props because, like, not like it. It's one thing if you have like all those characters in one movie. Like, even just juggling the two has got to be difficult work. But you know, he's fucking great. Yeah, he's fucking great in the movie. What else can I really say about it that hasn't already been said? It was very interesting to see a modern movie with like the plot of a 50s B movie and kind of not necessarily set in that time period. It's kind of like a timeless like setting that they have the movie in, but with like a very 1950s B movie aesthetic. Still, I'm kind of just shocked to see a movie like that in that setting be made today, and it'd be fucking awesome. I'm kind of just rambling. I'll probably have more to say when we get to general discussion, so I'm gonna pass it back to Tanner. Movie good.
My time to shine a low. I thought this was a bad movie.
Fuck
No,
you.
I'm kidding.
Incorrect.
I'm kidding. Could you imagine me, Mr. I Love Everything, if I'm the guy that came in and shit on this movie? But I will be, because even though I did like the movie quite a bit, the jokes, solid 49% hit rate, if you ask me. Most of the jokes, not funny. I'ma say it. Not that funny. But the ones that were funny literally killed me. And the fact that most of the jokes weren't funny didn't matter that much because I was too busy laughing from the jokes that were funny to notice the jokes that weren't funny.
What? You don't
just-
think it's funny when somebody chews gum and their head explodes? You don't think that's funny, Tanner?
It's funny the first time.
You don't think it's funny the third time?
On the advice of counsel, I have decided to exercise my Fifth Amendment privileges against self-incrimination and politely decline to answer your question.
What about when Daffy hits the ground with a hammer and goes, woohoo?
That
You
shit
don't
was
think that's
funny. I did think that was funny. That one was funny every time somehow. I don't know. I felt like when I was watching the movie, I was forcing myself to like it more than I did just because I was like, well, it's the Looney Tunes and they need my support right now. They're going through a hard time. They're going through a divorce, the Looney Tunes are.
With Warner Bros.
It feels like it. Like the day this movie came out, Warner Bros. Announced they were pulling everything Looney Tunes off of Max.
Yeah, they're trying to sell the property. They're trying to get rid of the Looney Tunes. When they were doing focus testing, when they were doing focus testing for this movie, they ran into a bunch of kids who didn't know who Daffy Duck was. Like a majority of kids don't know who Daffy Duck is.
I have failed you, Anakin. I have failed you.
Yeah, sell off your Mickey Mouse. Great idea, Zaslav. Go fuck yourself.
I'm mostly fucking with you guys, though. I actually did like the movie quite a bit. I don't know. I just wish I liked the movie more. I wanted to like the movie more. I liked the movie more watching it than I did like the jokes or anything. Even though the jokes were mostly pretty funny, I think I liked watching it. Especially whenever our Lord and Savior Farmer Jed came on screen. Every time he was on screen, I was like, hi. What a hunk of a man. I would, crawl bare ass naked through a mile of broken glass just to hear him fart through a tin can. What a beautiful, beautiful animated man. This is the greatest episode of all time. We're just going to go to general discussion. See you guys in a minute after this ad break. Bye.
Oh, son of a gun. You thought I was gonna say...
Lick my balls.
Welcome back from that ad break for another ad. See that shit? Moviepalette.com. It's basically primary color every frame. Dap it up into these little slices. and you go, boom, art. And if you add one to your cart for the Looney Tunes movie, the Space Jam movie, the Race Jam movie, the Space Jam 2 movie, add any of them to your cart, add all 5 of them to your cart. And before you hit checkout, enter the code SQUAD15 to save 15% on your car insurance. To save 15% on your order.
That one felt intentional.
It wasn't. It wasn't. I'm tired. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired, boss.
That's too damn bad.
So this is Wayne Knight's second Looney Tunes movie.
This is, yes.
He plays the mayor. I choose to believe it's the same as his character from Space Jam. And Wayne Knight got sucked in. He got sucked in. He got sucked into the Looney world of the Tunes, and he said, "I'm gonna become the mayor." Wayne Knight got sucked off by the Looney Tunes.
Specifically through a golf hole.
Oh my god.
That's what they did to me.
This is Looney Tunes land, my dude.
This is the worst episode of the podcast ever. I apologize.
No.
I'm on a good streak.
I got a production thing. Y'all make movies.
Hit it.
This might work.
Hit it.
Parts. So one thing Peter Braungart fought for this movie that's kind of unconventional is he wanted all the storyboard artists to have like writing credits. And he really fought with WB on this shit. One thing he pointed to, like, in order to get this was actually the original SpongeBob movie. Like, the very first one, Hillenburg actually fought to get his storyboard artists credited as writers. That's why that movie has 6 credited writers.
Is that why this one has fucking 11? Because I was looking at that like, Jesus Christ.
Yep. We don't think about, Cody might think about it. Some of us haven't made animations. But like in animation, when you're making a feature, storyboarding is like almost more important than writing the script. It's a very visual medium. So yeah, he was like, no, get my boys writing credits. And that's why it has 11 writers. I thought that was kind of heartwarming.
Hell yeah.
Pulled it off.
Sometimes
there's a man. Talking about the dude here.
There's a man going round taking names.
I love that movie.
Craven the Hunter on 4K right now.
Cody, say something. Hurry.
I don't know what to say, man.
You wanted this on the schedule the most.
That's true. Sorry, I was looking at Farmer Jim too much. I was too enamored. Is he eligible for Best Supporting Actor for Bomb Squad?
He's eligible for this dick.
Okay, but besides his dick,
he's eligible for this bussy.
I'm laughing solely more at Austin's reaction than I am at Tanner saying that.
Could we do like a Farmer Jed like thirst trap video? You know those things Instagram kids upload? Like keep zooming
Farmer
in on him shit.
Jed Rule 34.
Whoa!
Let's talk about something funny.
Did you guys know for this production, they gathered all 1,030 Looney Tunes shorts on a QuickTime server, and like the crew working on this would like use them in meetings to reference like while they were working on the movie. Also, they had Looney Tunes shorts that aren't available to the public. I read about this in an article. They've got some kind of secret Looney Tunes shorts you can only get if you're in the studio system. But that sounds like a fun thing to have at work. Is like, yeah, log into the Looney Tunes server, find this episode. We need it for the sequence. We need it for reference. That's one of the ways they got this to feel like a Looney Tunes thing. Is they literally had all the Looney Tunes on like their work computers. It was solid, cool thing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely thought, like, you know, I've seen, like, clips and ads for, like, some of the newer Looney Tunes cartoons, and, you know, they just kind of look like a Cartoon Network show. But this definitely felt, in the animation, like a classic Looney Tunes thing. So that definitely shows that, like, they were looking at the sacred texts when they made this shit.
Tanner.
So when I Google Farmer Jed Rule 34, unfortunately, I don't get any good results. It's all generic farmer porn or Stardew Valley farmer porn. However, The fourth result, so there are 3 results from the Rule 34 website. And then the fourth result is, I shit you not, house.gov. Like the U.S. House of Representatives website is the fourth result when you Google Farmer Gen Rule 34.
That's like the least surprise. That's the least surprising thing about the government that's happened this week.
You're right.
So make of that what you will.
Did we want to talk about the tax write-off situation?
Let's talk about the tax write-off. Let's talk about it.
Fun stuff.
So the reason that this did not get the axe as quickly, so this movie was greenlit before the WB Discovery merger, and so they started working on it, right? And then WB got mollywopped with that Discovery debt. But what was weird was inside the studio, they started from the top down with the flop projects. Like, you know, projects they didn't think would work. They found like $80 million projects and kind of worked their way down. And so when they were looking at this little baby $15 million project, they were like, I don't know. And then in 2022, WB International was like, what if we release this outside the US? We have enough money for that. And they didn't even do that because they had to save all their precious marketing money for Dune Part 2. They would rather spend the extra $1 million just adding onto that hill than promote this even a little in like outside territories. And also you can look it up. The reason Aquaman 2 was delayed, Warner Brothers was running out of marketing money. They literally didn't have enough for 2 tentpole releases at the time. And then, this came out at a film festival and Ketchup Entertainment swooped in and saved the day. Do you guys think if they get Coyote versus Acme, that would be a hit? How do you think that would go?
How are they going to fucking market it?
Yeah, that's the one thing. I don't think they have the money they need to market it. My only hope is if they do get it, word of mouth just takes off. Because like I know people who were like pissed off about the Coyote v Acme thing were excited about this movie coming out, and I think a lot of them didn't even know this movie was in theaters. That's just how much the marketing just there was non-existent.
And what I think something to keep in mind is that every single person who was mad about the Coyote versus Acme situation went out to see it in theaters if it comes out. It still won't make its money back. The majority of people don't know what you're talking about when you say, did you hear about this Coyote versus Acme thing? They look at you like an alien. We're really online. We're really plugged in. We're more aware than the average, way more aware than the average person is.
It's kind of like with this movie too. It's very much for it's for the fans. Like this movie was definitely more for the fans than just like the general public. Because nowadays, like Looney Tunes is kind of a blip in the general scheme. So I feel like a movie like this would be a little lost in
for the fans. Parentheses complimentary. Derogatory.
It's a good thing. It's very much a good thing. I want to emphasize that.
I will say another thing they could do in Coyote v Acme's favor is just plaster from producer James Gunn on that shit.
Yeah, that could help. Isn't John Cena also in the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that makes me think that they might actually put more money into marketing that one because there's like stars like Will Forte and John Cena, and the biggest star this movie has is a guest actor from Seinfeld.
It has Daffy Duck and Porky Pig. Look at the poster.
Nobody knows who those are anymore, though.
I hate it. Fuck this.
Hate it here.
Yeah.
This is where we are, boys.
Unfortunate. I think Coyote versus Acme, Warner Bros. Was shopping that around for $80 million. So it's a different ballpark than this thing that was like $15 million. Also,
though the rumor is that Ketchup is buying Coyote versus Acme for only $50 million. So I think Warner Brothers' price went down.
Good. This movie, I think last I checked, has made like $8.3 million in
9.4 as of the time of this recording.
Oh, sweet! They updated the number.
Yes,
okay.
Cody has the number tattooed. He has like a magic tattoo that the number keeps updating.
It's under the shirt. It's under the shirt.
Right below the left nipple.
Yep.
I like the idea. You have like an American History X tattoo, but it's just the Looney Tunes box office number. You're walking through the jail yard, and they're like, "That guy's loony. Don't fuck with him."
Don't fuck with him, man. He's fucking loony.
It feels like watching Furiosa creep up towards barely breaking even. Like maybe this thing will pass 15 million. But also, does that figure account for because this came out outside the States already, right? Is that why there's an Italian copy of this movie up for free online? This had
Let's look at the numbers. Looney Tunes box office mojo.
Oh.
I love gold.
The taste of it, the smell, the texture.
The 9.5 million includes domestic and international. It's made about 7.2 million here in the States and Canada, and about 2.8 million elsewhere. Its biggest market outside of the United States, France.
Ooh, even though they cut the Pepe Le Pew scene out of the new Space Jam. I'm glad France got over that. That's good.
It's here are the countries it's been released in: the United States, Canada, France, Poland, Spain, Italy, Turkey, Romania, Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, Iceland, Slovakia, and South Africa.
To quote Will Smith in the Fresh Prince finale, why don't they want me, man? Why doesn't the public like Looney Tunes these days? Any theories on that?
Because they're stupid.
Yeah.
Well, because they never made Race Jam. They just made Race Jam.
Or Skate Jam. They're really fucked up there.
No, it was. I honestly, Skate Jam would have made $700 billion from my wallet alone. I would have committed. You know how people are like, I'm gonna commit voter fraud to get this candidate elected. I'm gonna commit box office fraud to make Skate Jam the highest grossing movie in the universe.
I approve of this.
I love the idea of you doing the Sound of Freedom, but for Skate Jam.
Yeah, I'm just buying a bunch of tickets in every fucking theater in the country. Nobody's showing up to it. They're like, guys, why is this movie's in its 700th weekend? And it's like every showing sold out. Meanwhile, I have racked up $7 trillion in credit card debt. They keep letting me open new credit cards. It's insane.
Oh my god.
I go to the bank and they're like, do not let him in. Understand me? Just ignore him. Ignore him. And I'm like, Daddy Big Dick won alone.
All right, so that's what I'm saying when I'm getting a house.
YouTube's gonna have real fun with this episode.
Well, I think I know what we're changing your nickname to on Facebook now, dear.
Instead of the normal viewer discretion and advice, Tim's just gonna have a kids don't at the beginning. Oh my god. I think that is the most a recording's been derailed by us laughing ever.
It's funny, just like this movie.
Yes.
It's like a consistent thing. Whenever we talk Looney Tunes, it just fucking devolves. You remember last time?
No, the Space Jam episode, Austin was out here calling women dames. I didn't even think you could do that anymore.
Dame time!
See, now you're just gaslighting all.
Time!
Alright.
Come on. Show me some numbers. Show me some of those combo moves. We need to get gay porn in this episode too.
Is that Don Cheadle?
Is that Wayne Knight?
You're Wayne at nights.
You're Wayne Knight. I am. They sucked me in through a golf ball hole. I don't know why I gave him a fucking. That is not what Wayne Knight sounds like.
That is not what Wayne Knight sounds like.
I didn't know Dan Aykroyd was in this picture.
The movie was animated in Toon Boom Harmony 2D with backgrounds done in Photoshop. There, kids.
Thank you.
Go study that.
That is a cool fact. Here's another cool fact. God damn, all the IMDb trivia fucking sucks.
I warned you, bro. I warned you. I told him about this at work. I had to go like 6 articles deep to get my notes. Fucking the IMDb trivia. Tanner, read us off one so the audience can have a taste. Don't be ashamed.
The coffee shop the boys work at is called Beans, a nod to an early Looney Tunes character from the 1930s. That's all it says. Here's one for Joe. Towards the start of the movie, a poster can be briefly glimpsed in Daffy Duck and Porky Pig's bedroom. It features a UFO and the words "I need to believe," which might be a reference to the famous "I Want to Believe" poster featured in the X-Files.
It might
I like
be.
how it says it might be a reference, but
It's not even a fact. It's just it might be. It's all speculation.
well, nobody's bothered to ask. The funniest piece of IMDb trivia is the last one. The best IMDb trivia is always the one that gets the most downvotes. 3 people have rated it as helpful. 14 people have rated it as unhelpful. This is IMDb trivia. Bugs Bunny is absent in the movie.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
How many
Awesome.
thumbs down does it have right now?
14.
There we go.
Can we bring it down a bit more?
I was gonna say
Yeah,
I'll
hold on,
log.
let me get that number.
you
Let me
add
get that
I'll
number
log back.
15 real quick.
I'll log back into my old account. We'll make it 16. I haven't
There's
used
also
IMDb.
the IMDb goofs section, which tells you about factual errors or whatever. And an incorrectly regarded as goofs, we have, despite being a male duck, Daffy can lay eggs.
That's
But
the
then,
joke!
here's the thing.
They made
Usually
a
when
joke.
something's incorrectly regarded as a goof, they have like a sentence explaining why that is not the correct thing. So despite being a male duck, there are some occasions in the movie where Daffy lays an egg. And the counter argument to this to say that's not a factual error is, it is mentioned later in the movie that he can, though it is hard to do. Awesome, man. How about it's a fucking cartoon?
Your Honor,
Yeah.
it's funny.
Your Honor, my client, listen.
Did it for the goof. Did it for the laugh.
He did it for the loony. He did it for some of that loony. You know that there's a JFK quote allegedly where he said, "I need to get a strange piece of ass every day or I die." What if he said instead, "I need to get a loony piece of ass every day"?
There we go.
Go back to.
I think we need to stop.
Yeah.
Austin, final thoughts, or Tim, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, let's final thoughts it.
Austin, final thoughts before I say something I regret again.
I guess you could group this in with Godzilla -1 and The Brutalist. The Day the Earth Blew Up is proof you can do a 2D theatrical feature for only $15 million. And it even turns out pretty good. Here's hoping the studio acquires Coyote v. Acme and has their like big Nightmare on Elm Street moment where the money starts rolling in. But to all the people who worked on this, great job capturing the spirit of the Looney Tunes. I am sure, like, over the horizon, the ghosts of Tex Avery and Chuck Jones are smiling at you guys. Good work.
Nightmare blunt rotation. Godzilla, Daffy Duck, and the Brutalist from the Brutalist.
I remember taking the first hit.
That'll be brutal.
Taking the first
and ist.
and is.
It's gonna be Looney.
We've done it again.
Cody, final thoughts, Cody.
It's a good movie. It's a good time. I think a movie like this in the modern day deserves to be around, and I'm glad we could have like a fucking 50s B movie in the modern day, and I'm glad it didn't get destroyed by Warner Bros. I hope David Zaslav ends up in that one scene in the movie where like they're sending the one dude on the airplane and he just falls out and just dies. That's a fucking brutal scene, by the way. I'm surprised they got away with that. But I wanted to talk about that before I finished up. Yeah, good movie. Check it out if you can.
Tim, final thoughts.
Yeah, this was a good time. Definitely, if you can, check it out. Go check Fandango right now. See if it's playing in any theaters near you. It's absolutely fucking nuts that it took them 95 goddamn years to make a fully animated Looney Tunes movie. And this is a pretty good one. It's just a fun time. It's a loony time. It's a toony time. And that's all for me, folks. Back to you, Tanner.
Joe, we'll skip you.
Fuck
No,
you.
final thoughts. Okay.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I wish I had a time machine to go back just a couple of years and tell me from college that, hey, not only are you going to be getting a Looney Tunes movie like you've always absolutely wanted, but REM is going to feature on the soundtrack. It's going to blow your fucking mind. I would have been happy knowing this back then. It's like a dream come true, really. I'm happy the Looney Tunes are kind of back. I hope that they remain back. Let's hope for good things for Coyote versus Acme. Movie good. Please stay back, Looney Tunes. Fuck you, David Zaslav. Back to you, Tanner.
Let's hope that the Looney Tunes stay back in action.
Damn right.
Good stuff, Joe. I too wish I could go back in time and tell younger me there's going to be a feature-length Looney Tunes animated movie coming out in theaters. And I also wish I could go back in time and tell me it doesn't get better. Anyway, I did enjoy this movie, even though I thought the jokes didn't quite hit as hard as I wish it did. I wish it had a higher hit rate. The jokes that hit me harder than a fucking squirrel. Hit hard. Squirrels known for their boxing acumen. Squirrels, you ever seen a squirrel? They're fucking jacked, man.
What the
Squirrels
fuck
are
are you
fucking
on?
jacked. And you know who else is fucking jacked?
Farmer Jim.
You, the person. Oh my God, Farmer Jim, please, my balls are ready. You, the person watching / listening to this episode of Bomb Squad Matinee. If you're listening to this on any of the audio platforms are on, I'm sorry. How about you mosey on down below and leave us a review? It helps boost us in the algorithm or something. I don't know. I just work here. And if you are listening, how about you mosey on down over to our Patreon, where the $5 tier gets you access to commentary tracks, and the $10 tier gets you a shout out. So special shout out to my mom, Tanya Kraft. I'm sorry for what you just heard. And when you're done subscribing to our Patreon, how about you head on over to bombsquadproductions.shop? We got merch now. We don't got pants now. We're developing that. Don't worry about it. It's going to be a bomb on either butt cheek. Both butt cheeks feature a bomb. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you oh so very much for watching. And I'm sorry, but we really appreciate it. How about you mosey on down over to the comment section below? And let me know, what did you think of Looney Tunes The Day the Earth Blew Up? Do you hope that Ketchup Entertainment acquires the movie Coyote vs. Acme? Did you see any marketing for this movie? And finally, does Daddy Big Dick want a loan? Comment below and let me know. And while you're down there, hit the like button so we know how much you like us. Hit the subscribe button so we know how much you love us. Hit the bell icon to know exactly when we upload new videos. Thank you again so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Tune in next time when we talk about a movie that's turning 10 years old this year, and I'm very excited to talk about Furious 7, the 7th movie in the Fast and Furious franchise, and the 2nd movie we're talking about in this franchise. And Tim's gonna try and scare me again. It'll be great. We'll see you then. Bye.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
Slid my ticket across the table and I said, "Sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl."